Starting on your back, knees bent, and all we're going to do here is maybe put your hands on your belly to bring attention to your belly area. You're going to try to breathe into your belly. And this is Luna. Going to help. She's trying to help out. Yeah. So breathe into your belly. See if you can expand the belly balloon on the inhale and let the belly balloon deflate on the exhale. And maybe you can feel movement in your side ribs or in your lower back as you breathe. My resource therapy dog sitting here can help me feel better. So we're going to try to be belly breathing throughout our practice today, but really wanted to focus on it here and now. Now, if you would please put your thumb on the bottom of your rib cage and your fingertips on your hip points, so the tops of your hips, and notice that distance between those spaces. We're going to try to keep that space consistent throughout our practice today as well. So go ahead and straighten your legs into that Shavasana position. Maybe do a couple breaths from here, and then we're going to start moving and trying to link breath with movement. So start with your hands at your sides, and then on your inhale, arc your arms until the palms of your hands are touching the ground behind you, above your head. And then exhale and bring everything, your arms down to your sides again. And linking breath with movement, which means the top of your inhale, your hands should be on the ground above you, and the bottom of your exhale is when your hands should touch the ground at your sides. Inhale, arc your arms up. Exhale, float them down. Inhale one more time, float your arms up and overhead. And exhale, bring everything down. We're going to add on. Inhale, arc your arms up overhead. And this time, exhale, bring your right knee in towards your chest and give it a grab. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, bring your left knee in and give it a grab. Inhale, extend everything out. Exhale, bring one knee in. Inhale, extend everything out. Exhale, bring the other knee in. We're going to add on. Inhale, spread everything out. Exhale, this time, lift your head and your upper chest in a baby curl. Exhale, or inhale, stretch everything out. Exhale, other knee in, baby curl. Exhale, extend. Do it again. Inhale, right knee in. Exhale, extend. Inhale, left knee in. Exhale, extend. Or inhale, extend, sorry. Exhale, bring your arms down, maybe on your belly. Some belly breaths. Focusing on inflating the belly balloon on the inhale and letting that balloon collapse back down on the exhale. Okay, next exercise is put your feet on the ground, and like we did last time, we're going to do bridge pose. That's when you press your feet into the ground and lift your hips, but we're going to add movement to it. So arms start at your sides. Inhale, arc your arms overhead and lift your hips. Exhale, everything down. Inhale, arc and lift. Exhale everything down. Keep doing this. Doesn't matter how high your hips go. You just want to have air underneath your glutes. You can do low, medium, high, doesn't matter. Experiment with different height. Try to get your breath into your belly as you go. Let's do one more of these and exhale everything down. Okay, now we're going to slightly change the pattern. Inhale, arc your arms, lift your hips. Exhale, lower your hips, but keep your arms overhead. Inhale, lift your hips again, and exhale, arms and hips down. Let's do that whole thing again. Inhale, arc your arms, lift your hips. Keep your arms up, lower your hips. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, lower everything down. One more time of that little sequence. Inhale, arms and hips. Exhale, lower your hips. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, everything down. Slight variation, same idea. Inhale, everything up. This time, lower your arms, keep your hips up. Inhale, bring your arms up again. Exhale, lower everything down. Do it again. Inhale, everything up. Exhale, arms down, hips stay up. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, everything down. One more of these. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hips stay up. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, everything down. Maybe shake out your hips if that feels good. One more little pattern. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down, hips halfway down. Inhale, arms up, hips up. Exhale, everything down. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms up, hips up. Exhale, hips halfway down. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, everything down. One more of those. Inhale, up. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, all the way down. Excellent. Take your hips out. Maybe grab the tops of your knees, do a little self massage, rocking back and forth. Keep breathing. Okay. Adding on to a different exercise. This time, we're going to put our feet towards the ceiling, trying to make a 90-degree angle out of our body, bringing arms overhead. Okay, here we go. Inhale, bring your arms overhead and feet towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring your knees in towards your chest, give them a grab. Inhale, arms up, feet on the ceiling. Exhale, bring your knees in toward your chest. Inhale, extend. Exhale, grab. Inhale, extend. Exhale, grab. And one more of these. Inhale, extend. Exhale, grab. Feet back on ground. Okay. Rock and roll your body at least 3 times because it's fun. Be playful about it, and then come up to seated. Yay. And then we're going to go into tabletop, hands and knees. And now we're moving into the strengthening part of it. First, one more release. We're going to do cow pose and puppy pose in alternating breaths. So cow pose, you drop your belly towards the ground like you're a cow lumbering along, and then you look face forward as you look forward as you're being the cow. This is our inhale position. Exhale is you're going to rock back into puppy and drop your head in between your hands and stretch your lower back particularly. So inhale, drop your belly, look forward. Exhale, rock back and arch your lower back. Inhale, think of arching at your mid back, and exhale, think about arching in your lower back. Inhale, cow. Exhale, puppy. Inhale, cow. Exhale, puppy. Okay. Come back to tabletop and then do whatever movement feels good for your spine right now. Jump rope your spine, shift it left and right, forward and back, up and down, whatever feels good as your morning stretch. Okay. So now we're going into the second part of our psoas release, which is called an active release because we're going to be strengthening other muscles to help your psoas chill out. So start by just a calf stretch. Bring your right leg back and stretch out your calf. See if you can keep breathing into your belly. And then when you're ready, bring your right leg parallel to the ground and keep your hips parallel to the ground as well. So you're not up here and you're not up here, right? You're keeping everything stacked. You still could put a coffee mug on your hips and it wouldn't fall off. You can look back and check and see what's going on back there, but this is what we're looking for, right? Straight. And then if you want to increase the challenge, which I strongly encourage all of us to do, add your left hand into the parallel to the ground with your palm facing to the right. And keep breathing and notice the quality of your breath as you are in challenge. And one more breath here, and go ahead and rock back into puppy or child's pose or whatever position feels good for you. Rock pose. Maybe shift your weight from left to right and counter stretch that back body activation. Activating your back body, strengthening your back body to help that hip flexor release it a bit more. Okay, let's keep on going. Tabletop again. Calf stretch on the left side. Start there. And then when you're ready, lift the left leg parallel to the ground. Moment. Let someone in. You stay holding your leg up. And then if you're ready, add your right hand parallel to the ground, palm facing to the left, like you're about to shake somebody's hand. Notice if your breathing quality changes at all as you live in challenge. Notice what's going on in your brain. You want to stop. See if you can hold on for one more breath. And then go ahead and come on down and back into your counter stretch of your choice. And again, maybe shift your weight from left to right. And as you're in this counter stretch, see if you, even though you're in sort of a crumple position, can you breathe into your belly? Okay. Now we're going to come onto our bellies in another position of rest called crocodile pose. And what you're going to do is stack your hands and then put your forehead on your hands so that you can close your eyes if you want to, so that you're looking down into your mat and you have plenty of room for your nose because your forehead is stacked on your hands. In this position, notice your breathing. If you want to try a variation of the pose, try pointing your feet out wide, your toes pointing away from your midline. And to do that, most of us have to put our ankles wider than our mats. It's a variation of this pose that you might try out or you might not. Up to you. But let's focus on breathing in our belly area and feel your belly pressing into the ground on the inhale and release on the exhale, the release of pressure. And maybe on the inhales, notice a little sense of expansion or stretch in your lower back. Exhale. Keep breathing deep belly breaths. And one more. And we're going to go continue our strengthening of our back body. So put your head up and your arms at your sides. We're going to be doing a pose called locust and variations of that. So locust is basically a hands-free cobra. So on your next inhale, lift your head and your upper chest, and exhale, lower everything down. You don't want to compress your lower back, so make sure you're pressing down with your hips, your thighs, and the tops of your feet as you inhale and lift. Exhale and lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Now we're going to add on, as you lift your head and your chest, also lift your right leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And alternate legs. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. It's not just lifting your foot into the air. You want air underneath your knee, lifting your whole leg, including your thigh. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more on the other side. Exhale, lower. And if it feels good to you, just be in rest. I'm resting on my chin. Maybe roll left and right, shake out your hips a little bit. Okay. Adding on to the challenge, we're going to lift head and both feet at the same time. So inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And again, feels good. Shaking hips and roll left and right. Good job. All right. Two more variations of locust. Getting a little bit harder as we go. If it's too much for you, repeat one of the other ones. But I think everybody in this class should be able to easily do the rest of the poses. Inhale, lift everything up. Exhale, lower everything halfway. Inhale, lift everything up. Lower everything down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, halfway. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more of these. Inhale, lift. Exhale, halfway. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Excellent. Again, shifting left and right. If that feels good. For the last one, we're not focusing on our upper body. It's more about our lower body. So if you want to pillow your head in your hands again or prop your chin up, it's all good. If your chest rises somewhat, that's absolutely fine, but it's not going to be the focus of this. Our focus is going to be our legs. So here we go. It's inhale up, exhale, bring your feet into a V, inhale together, exhale, lower everything down. Let's do it again. Inhale up, exhale V, inhale together, exhale lower, inhale up, exhale V, inhale together, exhale lower, and one more. Inhale up, exhale V, inhale together, exhale lower. Ah, great. Check out your hips or roll left and right. Maybe turn your forehead to your hands and try to breathe into your belly and counter stretch. Try to breathe to stretch out your lower back a little bit. And then we're going to come out of this into your counter stretch, whether it be puppy, cobra, rock, whatever, to arch your lower back. And again, maybe shift your weight from left to right. Do whatever you feel like with your head. I recommend having it be supported by either the ground or your hands. You're not lifting it up and you can relax. And even though you're in a position of crumple, see if you can breathe into your belly. Feel the pressure in your lower back to help soothe and stretch after that engagement. Excellent. Okay. Come on to standing on your knees. And we're going to be here doing low lunges for a little bit. So for me, I'm going to add a little fold in my mat. If you want to grab a pillow or a blanket or something to give your knees a little extra cushion, please grab something. And now we're getting into the lengthen or stretch part of our hip flexor. So here's what the trick is. We're going to go back into this thumbs on your rib cage, fingertips on the tops of your hips position, because in order to stretch your psoas muscle, you need to keep your ribs over your hips relatively vertical, and to not flare or arch your front half of your body as we do these movements. So we're going to note this distance, try to keep, as soon as you tilt your pelvis in, you're going to try to keep your pelvis in a vertical position. Let's give it a go and maybe you'll see what I'm talking about. So keep your hands here and with grace, bring your right foot forward into a lunge, but really try to keep your hips in a vertical situation. So some of you, yes, you can go easily into this, but look, I'm not engaging stretching my psoas at all from this position. So I'm going to bring my hips to vertical and then I'll start to feel that stretch. Okay. So my right hand is going to stay in this engaged position. My left hand is going to arc. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, arm down. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. This time we're going to hold it up and keep breathing. See if you can get your breaths into your belly. And notice what you feel in your left hip flexor area. If you don't feel anything, make adjustments until you do. One more inhale here. Exhale, arm down, knees together. And we're going to switch sides. So both hands here, left foot forward, keeping the hips in a vertical position. Bend into your lunge until you feel it in your right hip flexor, leaving the left hand anchored, right hand at your side. Inhale, arc your arm up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Last one, inhale up and hold. And see if you can breathe into your belly. In this hip flexor stretch. Great. One more inhale here. Knees together. I'm going to unfold my mat. Come in to down dog. Bring my feet and hands towards each other. Keep my knees bent and be in forward fold for a moment. Again, shifting my weight to left and right, counter stretching from the lunges that we were doing. Okay. Then on your next inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, reach for your toes. Inhale, stand up, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Okay. Now, many of us have a tendency when our arms go up, our chest goes up too. We have an arch in our rib cage, or the distance here extends. Well, we don't want that. We want to keep that. We don't want to flare it. We don't want to arch this way. We want to keep this distance the same. So again, anchor your thumb and your fingers here. Stand in your mountain. So knees, hips, and ankles all stacked up, feet pointed straight ahead. And we're going to start with our right arm. Inhale to the side. And inhale towards the front. And then switch sides. Inhale to the side. And inhale to the front. Now, let's see if you can memorize this distance and keep it the same, adding both arms. Okay, ready? Inhale to the side. Inhale to the front. And then we're going to add a fun little challenge. Come up on your tippy toes. Inhale to the side. Inhale to the front. And then we're going to try a little bit a mental challenge. Inhale, this time your right arm goes halfway up. Your left arm goes all the way up. And then switch. Inhale, left arm halfway up. And exhale down. These thought puzzles actually help keep your mind body connected, and puzzle your brain is actually really good for coming out of the sympathetic nervous system into this parasympathetic response. Okay. How do you feel? Notice that. We're going to do some lunges. So I'm going to take off my socks. Now, different from last time, because we're really trying to keep our pelvis in a vertical position, your lunge is not going to be as wide as what you might do otherwise. So meaning normally you might do this, but notice how this tilts my hips forward. I don't want that. I want my hips to be in vertical, so you might have to shorten your stance. So take a step forward with your right foot so that you can be in a lunge situation. Hands on your hip point things. Really try to bring your pelvis into a vertical kind of position and keeping the back leg straight for now. Then right hand stays anchored and your left hand is going to arc. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Okay, we're going to add bending your back knee as you rise your arm up. Inhale, bend it. Exhale, straighten it. Inhale, bend the back knee. Exhale, straighten. One more, bend. Exhale, straighten. And the last one will hold arm up and bent knee. And breathe into your belly if you can. Feel the stretch in your left hip flexor. If you're not feeling anything, adjust until you do. And one more breath here. And exhale. Release. Bring your feet together. Shake out your legs. And we're going to switch sides. So left leg is going to stay forward. Right leg is going to be back. You can be on your toes or flat, either one, whichever feels good. Hips are pointed towards the front of your space. Hands on your ribs and hips. Make sure that your ribs aren't forward and that your hips are in a vertical position. Okay, leaving our left hand anchored, right hand is going to arc. Here we go. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. We're going to add the bend of the back knee. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. And the last one, we're going to hold up. Inhale, up with your back bent knee and breathe. See if you can breathe into your belly. One more inhale here. And then feet together. Okay. Here we go. Next set of poses. Take a giant step back with your left foot. And this time we're going to go into our front knee again. Your front foot is parallel with the long side of your mat. Your back foot is parallel with the short side of your mat. And then torso, ribs, everything face towards your computer or towards the long side of your mat, right? So again, see if you measure, see if you can bring your ribs above your hips. And then add arms in warrior two. And breathe into your belly if you can, without puffing up your chest. Keep that distance consistent. One more inhale here, and then straighten your front knee. Most of us don't have very far to go. And then put your hands on your hips to keep your ribs above your hips. And we're going to go into triangle pose. So that's hinging at the hip, not at the waist. This stays solid. Teeter-totter over towards the right, towards the front foot. And then once you're basically as far as you can go, you can put your hand on your thigh or wherever it feels good. And then bring your left arm up towards the sky. And see if you can get it so you feel a stretch in this left side. And keep breathing, hopefully in belly breaths. Okay, we're going to add on to a motion. So inhale, bring your arm up overhead for extended triangle. And exhale, drape your arm behind you. A little bit of a twist feeling. Inhale, extend. Maybe you feel it in your obliques, maybe that attachment in your lumbars. See where you kind of stretch the psoas on the left side. Now we're going to add on a little bit of thought problem. As you inhale, look at your elbow. And as you exhale, look at the ground. Inhale, look at your elbow. Exhale, look at the ground. Inhale, look at your elbow. Exhale, look at the ground. And last one, inhale, look at your elbow. And then exhale, bring your torso to vertical. And all you have to do to switch sides is switch feet position. So your right foot goes parallel with the short side of your mat. Your left foot will become the point. Drop into the front knee and then see if you can bring your torso into vertical instead of forward or back. Arms up into a T. Try to breathe into your belly. Try not to puff out your ribs or flare your ribs. Keep that distance relatively consistent. And breathe. Okay. One more breath here. And then straighten your front leg. And we're going to go into triangles. Hands on your waist. Try to keep this stacked and bending right here. Bend into your triangle. I don't go very far. My hand's on my thigh. Right hand up towards the sky. Maybe you can go further, but try not to put direct pressure on your knee, either above your knee or below your knee. Breathe and see if you can get a stretch in this left side. Or sorry, that right side. Oh, my left, where am I? Okay, we're going to add on motion. So inhale, arm overhead. Exhale, drape your arm behind you. Inhale, arm overhead. Exhale, behind. Inhale, extend. Exhale, behind. And let's add the head. So inhale, look at your elbow. Exhale, look at the ground. Inhale, elbow. Exhale, ground. Inhale, elbow. Exhale, ground. Inhale, elbow. This is our last one. Exhale, torso up. Feet together. Take it out. Excellent. That was the last of our standing poses. We're going to do a sun salutation to the ground. So reviewing what we did last class. Inhale, arms up. Try not to flare your ribs. Exhale, toward your toes. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, onto your belly. Inhale, cobra, and then stay on your knees for puppy. And then come onto tabletop and you're going to come onto your back. We've got a couple more poses before our Shavasana. Sure. Got, want to have a check? Okay. All right, together. So lie on your back with your knees bent, but this time have your feet touching. We're going to inhale, arms overhead and dropping our knees into butterfly. And the inhale and closing the butterfly, clapping the butterfly wings and in the exhale. So let's try that. Inhale, arc your arms, open to butterfly. Exhale, together. Inhale, flap. Exhale, together. Inhale, flap. Exhale, together. And then the last one, inhale, flap, and then just leave your knees wide. Maybe adjust your feet so that the bottoms of your feet are actually touching. Do whatever you want with your arms. You can leave them up over your head or stick them on your belly, whatever feels better for you. Let's just sit in reclined butterfly for a moment and allow gravity pull your knees towards the ground. See if you can breathe into your belly. what your jaw is doing or your forehead. One more breath here, and then on your exhale, bring your knees back up to vertical, and maybe bring your knees towards your chest for a little lower back self-massage. All rolling around a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to keep holding on to our right knee and stretching out the left leg straight on the ground. Maybe draw circles with your right knee or ankle circles with your right foot, whatever you feel like doing in the sort of, they call it flamingo kind of pose, one-legged pose. And then we're going to move into single leg twist. So you're going to take your right knee, cross it over your body until it hits the ground in front of you. And then you're going to take your right shoulder and peel it towards the ground behind you. I recommend cactus arms. That really helps stretch your pec minor and armpit area. Maybe that's your deltoids over there. And see if you can breathe into your belly, even though you're in a twist. I mean, for me, I've got air under both my knee and my elbow. You do you and adjust for you. And see if you can breathe into that belly. And maybe allow your knee and elbow to slowly reach towards the ground. One more breath here. Both knees up to vertical. Grab the tops of your knees and roll around a little bit. And then stay holding on to your left knee. Extend your right leg. Ankle circles, knee circles, or just be stationary. And then when you're ready, take your left knee, cross it over your body until it hits the ground on the right side, and peel your left shoulder towards the ground behind you. And see if you can breathe into your belly. Notice what's happening in your jaw and your forehead. Maybe as you breathe, you're able to release your elbow a little bit lower towards the ground, or your knee a little bit closer to the ground. And if you're already touching in those areas because you're pretty flexible, just notice, and maybe you can be okay with not having a lot of sensation. But breathing into your belly, into the twist, you might feel something after working the psoas area. One more breath here. Both back knees back up to vertical. Grab the tops of your knees. Last self-massage. And then bring your both knees in towards your chest for a big hug and to find your Shavasana position. Maybe it's neat feet on the ground. I'm going to come up to seated. You find what you need for the last little bit. And stop the. Maybe let's take a couple breaths together before you just release into natural breathing. See if you can get a couple breaths into your belly from wherever you are in your Shavasana, your corpse pose, a final position of rest. Maybe have an audible exhale. Maybe flutter your lips, that's fun. And then release into normal breathing. We're going to do a little visualization. So think of a place that inspires you. Maybe the beach, maybe a forest. Could be real or imaginary. You could have been there before or not. Maybe mountains. Whatever that scene is, put yourself in that place. And then orient to that imaginary space. Look around in your imagination and what do you notice about this space? Notice something visually from far away. Notice something closer in. What sounds are in your space? Sounds of nature, water, maybe music. What smells? What textures? Either visually or by feel. What do you notice? What's the temperature in your imaginary space or your visualized space? What's the heat source? Is it the sun? Is it you? Take one more look or sensory overview of your space. Maybe take a big breath in. Notice the smells of your space. Let it go. We're going to come back into this space. Maybe wiggle fingers or toes. Maybe wrist circles or ankle circles. Maybe a full body stretch. And then come back up to seated again with kindness. Press yourself back up or what you need. Come back up to seated. We're going to do a final breath awareness, conscious breathing together before we close. And it helps, you want to try to have our ribs above our hips again, and it helps to lift your hips a little bit. I'm going to sit on a block. You could sit on a pillow, anything to slightly lift your hips. And what that does is it makes it much easier to keep your ribs stacked over your hips if your hips are a little bit higher than your knees. Once you're here, think about that tall spine, everything in stack. Maybe put your hands on your belly and let's try belly breathing together. Inflate the belly balloon on your inhale and let it collapse back down on your exhale. And then maybe put your hands on your rib cage, your side ribs, and see if you can get your hands to move and expand towards the sides as you breathe. Inhale and expand. Exhale, let them collapse back in. Then let's try breathing a 360 breath, that whole lumbar area, belly, waist, lower back. See if you can span that whole area on the inhale and collapse it back down on the exhale. Breathe like a jellyfish. Inhale, expand. Exhale, collapse. Inhale, expand. All the way around. Exhale, collapse. And one more breath together like this. Exhale. And return to normal breathing. Notice what you feel like now after trying to release one of these muscles that really holds a lot of stress for many of us. Issues in your tissues. And may the inner light in you reflect the inner light in me. Namaste and happy Friday, everybody. Have a good weekend. Thanks for practicing.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank
Thank you.
Bye, Miss Crompton. Have a nice weekend.
Bye.
Miss Crompton, great workout today.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ashton.